Hey guys, it's me Ines. I'm going to react to 10 insane crowds that didn't let wrestlers speak. This is basically one of those things where the crowd kinda, you know, control the situation in terms of promos and other things that they don't want to hear what the person that they really hate, or they don't really care what the segment is all about. One of the examples was Dominic Mysterio, where of course he was one of the most despicable heels that we kind of hate, and at that point, at that moment, he cannot, say things in terms of what people would, say about him after all that he did to his father and all the things has been done during the recent years in his career. Another example was Hulk Hogan back in Raw, the first episode of Raw on Netflix, where he came out, and then at that moment, people rained down the boos on Hulk, and that's how it is. Like the crowd is basically the ones that speak on their mind is what's best to tell you that we don't care about this person in terms of what he says or what she's going to say, and those are the things that happen throughout history in wrestling. So we're going to start with the video and to see which of these wrestlers that fans didn't want them to speak.
There's nothing like a raw ovation of a wrestling crowd. Some of the best reactions, be them positive or negative, are when the audience is so loud the wrestler can't get their words out.
I can't. Sometimes I just give up on the promos because I can't just sit there and for 2 minutes and try and talk when they're not letting me.
We've seen plenty of audiences hijack promo segments in this way over the years.
To be a success. Shut up and listen to me.
And for this video, we'll look at some of these moments in detail.
We didn't even do anything to eat.
From the
Yeah, I almost forgot the New Day. Yeah, after they, made the decision to let Kofi and Xavier Woods be heels, that's when the crowd doesn't like them at that point and raining down boos. I also remember back in 2017, this is the similar situation to Roman Reigns when he beat The Undertaker, and the next night on Raw, he came out, says something that he's the big dog owns his yard or something like that, and at that point people start raining boos on him, whatever he's going to say. So again, these are the type of things that we fans, if we don't care about what this person said, of course there will always be a negative reaction, but some are positive. So yeah.
The UK to the US, all the way to Europe and Canada.
Let me remind you and these stupid idiots who won't shut up.
Today we highlight 10 more insane crowds that didn't let wrestlers speak. Hulk Hogan has experienced night and day reactions when it comes to crowds making so much noise he can't cut his promo. Many people were never going to look at Hogan the same again after his race scandal and poor attempt at an apology.
And it's exactly what that was. It was a glitch. It was a huge mistake. The worst thing I've ever said.
This resulted in him being booed into oblivion on night 2 of WrestleMania 37 in his hometown of Tampa, Florida.
Brothers, and welcome to WrestleMania Sunday.
Monday Night Raw stayed.
What's crazy about that segment, yes, he did admit and apologize his mistake. It's kind of crazy though that they're trying to put a scene between him and Titus O'Neil, which it's kind of been obvious, like you did apologize, but that's it gonna work, because some people, even if you apologize your mistakes, they don't even care. Some people would say, well, good thing he apologized, but still, it doesn't have to be every single individual as humans to be like, you know what, even if you ask for forgiveness, most of us, we won't forget what you have done, and that's the thing. But I would give him credit because he did apologize. Unlike a certain individual who is in a different company, racist but not going to apologize the mistake that that person has done. And if you know what I'm talking about, well, yeah.
Debut of Netflix from January 6, 2025 was even worse for the Hulkster.
But you, the fans, have been my greatest tag team partner because you guys have stuck with me through thick and thin, dudes.
But back in 2002, the public opinion of Hulk Hogan hadn't yet been soured. Despite returning as part of the heel NWO, fans just couldn't boo him since they were so overjoyed to see him back in the World Federation. There were two notable occasions in 2002 where the Hulkamaniacs just couldn't get enough of Hogan, including on the May 16th SmackDown in Montreal, Canada. It was in Montreal 2 months prior that Hollywood Hogan received one of the greatest reactions ever on the Raw after WrestleMania 18.
Look at the response from these people, JR! This is amazing.
It was an incredible sustained Raw that would have kept going had Hulk not needed to get out his promo. There were a host of memorable moments from Montreal on the Raw after Mania 18. Their rendition of the Hey 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 Goodbye song hijacked Stephanie McMahon and Triple H's segment. The two had just agreed to a stipulation where Stephanie would lead the WWE if she lost in a match the next week.
Millions of viewers tune in to see me every week!
But there was another chant directed at Steph she was more used to.
I don't know if she can speak. Wait a minute, not that one. Listen to this.
The Goodbye song was heard again during Vince McMahon's promo with Ric Flair. That's because this was meant to be one of the chairman's last appearances on Raw for a while, as Vince would take over SmackDown while Flair ran the red brand. And since we were in Montreal, there had to be a "You Screwed Brett" chant.
Oh, please.
The SmackDown after WrestleMania 39 began a trend where anytime Dominic Mysterio would get on the mic, the boos were so loud his voice could barely be heard.
Dum Dum has something he would like to say.
I can't. At Payback, we did exactly what Mommy told us to do.
Dirty Dom, he getting booed in his own hometown.
Dominic had become one of the best heels during this time due to the despicable way he treated his family, especially his father Ray, who every wrestling fan in the world loves.
Mom, shut up!
So the thunderous clatter of boos was the audience's way of getting back at Dom.
I decided not to show aggression towards my dad!
Sometimes I just give up on the promos because I can't just sit there and for 2 minutes and try and talk when they're not letting me.
I said...
I can't hear anything he's saying. It's pointless.
There's no doubt crowds are booing Dominic, but some have questioned if WWE are piping in sound to make the boos appear louder, especially since crowd sweetening is something the company has been known to do in the past.
We're not medically clear to handle Judgment Day business.
I always thought they were pumping in that noise. I didn't realize how loud it actually was when you were out here.
While Dominic was being booed out of arenas, Sami Zayn was leading the charge over on the babyface side. One of Zayn's best nights in front of a packed house was the SmackDown before Elimination Chamber 2023, ahead of his clash with Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal title. Both shows took place in Sami's hometown of Montreal. He was given a hero's welcome as he addressed the people. Zayn was emotional as he took in the electric atmosphere around him. Sami may not have won at the pay-per-view, but the entire weekend was still one of the best and most emotional hometown returns in wrestling, featuring a rambunctious and fanatical Quebec crowd.
Tonight, in front of his wife, in front of 17,000 countrymen in Montreal. And of all the damn ways, Reign has retained the championship.
You know, it was kind of an unhappy ending tonight. And I'd be lying if I said that doesn't affect me.
Zayn's fellow Canadian Chris Jericho was making waves in World Championship Wrestling throughout 1998. One of the worst crowds WCW hosted every year was during a motorcycle rally in Sturgis, South Dakota for the annual Road Wild events. Those in attendance weren't usually wrestling fans, so they didn't make too much noise during the matches, aside from revving their engines, which was the biker equivalent to pops and boos, as we'll see. Jericho, being as good as he is, knew how to get under the biker's skin. They didn't have to know who he was, because Chris could get anyone to dislike him, as he insulted the motorcyclists in attendance.
As I was driving down the streets of Sturgis today on my smoking Honda motorcycle, I realized I don't really want to perform in front of a bunch of weekend warrior motorcyclers like yourselves.
Jericho tried to finish his promo, but could barely be heard over the bikers revving up.
Quiet down already!
I like this. Can we bring them everywhere to drown him out?
Huh?
The Rock was Jericho's favorite opponent to work with as a heel in WWF. They wrestled a lot over the space of 3 years, but by 2002, the People's Champ needed to turn. The Great One's last night as a babyface was on the Raw 10th anniversary show in January 2003. Here, Rock and Chris had an exchange where the Brahma Bull was booed heavily since he'd been off making movies for the last 5 months.
Rock's here via satellite.
Matter of fact, we can't go on. No. The Rock can't go on before he says one thing. The Rock has got to say this, considering where we're at. Finally!
If it wasn't already clear before, now without a shadow of a doubt, The Rock had to return as a heel. This happened a month later as a Hollywood Rock character was born. His first night back face to face with the people was on the February 20, 2003 episode of SmackDown, emanating from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Finally!
While The Rock is known for taking numerous pauses and really taking in the electricity from the arena, on this occasion he had no choice given the boisterous response from the masses. The Rock eventually began to talk and acknowledge the chant.
The Rock here's Rocky. The Rock here's Rocky sucks. The Rock hurt ass over here. The Rock here's Hogan. Hey, that's enough.
Daniel Bryan's ascent to the main event of WrestleMania 30 saw numerous shows and segments get hijacked by the fans. As much as the WWE damaged their relationship with the audience during this time, crowds hijacking the product showed how much impact the vocal majority can have when they make so much noise. They forced the company's hand in putting the belt on Bryan, after he was originally scheduled to face Sheamus at Mania in a nothing match in the middle of the card. The December 9, 2013 Raw from Bryan's home state of Washington was an important night in his history. The main event segment hyping Randy Orton and John Cena's world title.
Here's the thing, imagine that if the crowd did not, hijack the show, and we would have Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus at WrestleMania, that leads to Batista versus Orton, but there were rumors at the time that they would put CM Punk in the main event if he didn't leave WWE. So it's like, okay, if Punk left, and then if the crowd didn't hijack that night, you could argue that Orton versus Batista would be the case scenario of both of them is gonna main event. So what will happen to Daniel Bryan? I guess he could win regardless, but that goes to show how powerful the crowd is when they know they decide someone else. Similar to Cody versus Roman, where at one point WrestleMania 40, Cody was this close, right? This close not to get the WWE Universal Championship match, because at that booking decision they wanted Rock versus Roman. They've been asking for years for fans, but this time they kind of change it, and that's how powerful the crowd is. WWE right now, they listen to the crowd and they understood what needs to be addressed. So that's the case on Daniel Bryan's situation.
Title unification ladder match at the upcoming TLC pay-per-view was completely overshadowed by the people chanting for Bryan. Triple H couldn't get his words out, forcing the other wrestlers in the ring to acknowledge Bryan.
Bryan's having fun.
Cena even incorporated Bryan into his promo as a way of taking a shot at Orton being handed opportunities due to nepotism.
You've had to work for everything you've got.
Yes.
A month out from WrestleMania, Bryan was now going to be wrestling Triple H at the Show of Shows after CM Punk left, meaning the game had to switch opponents. But this still wasn't the WWE Championship match fans wanted for Bryan, so those in attendance on the March 3rd, 2014 Raw in Chicago built up a campaign on social media outlining how they were going to hijack the show. The noise was deafening due to Bryan's exchange with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. The night's main event angle saw Bryan and Triple H brawl after the game insulted Bryan during their promo segment earlier in the night, while the crowd jeered.
Why can't you just accept your failure? Why can't you just accept your inadequacies?
A few weeks later, it was announced that Bryan would wrestle 2 matches at WrestleMania 30, including in the main event for the title if he defeated Triple H first. Bryan got his big win at Mania and was given a hero's welcome the next night in New Orleans, Louisiana, in front of a rabid Raw After Mania crowd. On NXT in 2017 and 18, Tommaso Ciampa began to receive a lot of heat after turning on friend and tag partner Johnny Gargano.
What? Oh my God! What are you? Tommaso, what are you?
From there, Ciampa didn't even have entrance music. He was met with a chorus of boos and "You suck" chants each time he walked to the ring.
By the way, that is the right choice. No entrance theme, just walk out, let the boo rain on you, and that's basically the right decision that they made for Tommaso Ciampa. Again, one of the best rivalries between him and Johnny during the Black and Gold days. Absolutely fantastic.
You suck!
The boos were also a feature of Ciampa's promos, as he stood in the ring on the mic while being drowned out by the jeers from NXT's Full Sail Arena. Backlash 2024 was one of the most unforgettable live experiences in wrestling history. Leon France was sensational. For the whole weekend, WWE hosted them, including the May 3rd SmackDown. Leon stole the show during the closing face-off between WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles, who was set to do battle at Backlash. Both men had to stop their tracks as the capacity crowd chanted at the top of their lungs.
It's almost like you.
The French showed the company just how much it was missing by not running televised events there for all these years.
Phenomenal.
1 month later, it was a similar story for Rhodes and Styles before they squared off at Clash at the Castle in Scotland. On the Go Home SmackDown, Glasgow were in high spirits ahead of the clash. They just would not stop singing Cody's name, doing so in the form of a chant you'd expect to hear inside a UK football stadium.
AJ! And these stupid idiots who won't shut up!
After years of
That's the case. Great international crowds, Puerto Rico to Lyon, France, and I guess you could add Scotland to Germany, and there's a lot of great international crowds, and that's the case, you know. Like, the thing is, in the US there are some crowds that are great, but you know, they've been watching the product live for how many times, and this is one of those rare chances that international crowds gets the chance to watch wrestling, specifically WWE. So I feel like they made the right choice when they decided, you know what, we will go to different countries, and you know, no matter how many crowd in that stadium, regardless of what, 12,000, 13,000, they're still, you know, energetic and loud, and that's the one thing that kind of, you know, made a wrestling show better, regardless of a regular Raw, SmackDown, or a PLE in general.
Of success and fan adulation, the New Day were dealt a huge blow after losing Big E to a career-threatening neck injury in 2022. The group never really recovered after, so 2.5 years later, while celebrating 10 years together, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods turned heel in dramatic fashion by shunning away the injured E.
Family! Come on, man.
A seemingly unbreakable friendship and bond was destroyed. It was a brilliant angle that the fans could sink their teeth into. The next week, on the December 9, 2024 edition of Raw, Kingston and Woods were booed out of the building, unable to speak.
After the 10 years of positivity that Woods and I have given you, you're going to tell me you're this mad over one day? We came out here.
The audience didn't want to hear what Kofi and Xavier had to say after their reprehensible, unforgivable act the previous week. The duo continued to experience similar reactions in the weeks that followed.
Tonight was supposed to be a homecoming for me. You know, we go way. I can't even talk to Jay.
Hey, we only have a short amount of time. We're going to need y'all to quiet down for just a little bit. You can do it.
Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our first installment of
So that's the video, guys. Yeah, the New Day, they made the right decision. Not only that they would break up, but at the same time, how the crowd will not appreciate what they have done, and that is to rain down all those boos on Xavier and then Kofi, and especially Roman on the screen. Similar situation. He beat The Undertaker, and at the same time, you know, the crowd booed the hell out of him, and he doesn't say anything until he say that my yard is mine, or this is the big dog's yard now. So, and that's how it was, you know, like people are basically the ones showing how much do they really don't like about this person, or how they hijack, you know, a segment or a match, and that's how it is. Also, that's the best thing about it, you know. It's better to let the crowd, you know, whether if it's cheers or boos, as long as there's something, it's better than nothing. So all I can say is that give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for more future uploads of videos. All I can say is thank you for watching, and we will see each other in the next video. Peace.